I often find myself scrolling down the Steam front page to look for unique and weird indie games. I always love a game that can stand out amongst the crowd. Usually my favorite type of indie games are platformers and of course horror. I have already talked about a few indie horror games here and there, and all of them have been really fantastic. And the next game to add to that list is Interior Worlds, an indie horror game developed by Solaraptor. Interior Worlds being the second game they developed, released in 2023. This game has you taking pictures and explore liminal spaces. For those who don't know, liminal spaces are empty or abandoned places that seem eerie but most often surreal, like walking around an empty school or a mall. Two types of places that are usually full of people, but in liminal spaces they're completely empty, almost feeling like you're in another parallel world where you're all alone. It's a concept that started to blow up a few years back, but it kinda got a bit overblown. Despite that though, there's still several great projects coming from this type of genre, and I think Interior World is one of my favorites in that regard. Being heavily inspired by the PS1's graphics, the game has a style reminiscent of that, with characters that move being jittery and such. I adore the PS1 and I love the PS1 aesthetics, so this was right up my alley. So with no more bickering, let's get into the game and see what it makes it truly special. Okay, that logo is absolutely amazing. The PS1 starter sound, it's like the best sound ever created. The game opens up with someone driving on the road at night, feeling alone with only one or two passing cars. Finally arriving at the gas station, we can explore the area. I was blown away by how cool this game looked. The colors especially here pop so much and it's so cool to look at. Now while the place is really awesome to look at, it's pretty empty. The person working there has lunch, which makes us the only one there. By looking around, we can find the key to this gate and open this mysterious door that leads us to a whole new world. In fact, an empty one. We are at the same location, but now we're all alone. No passing cars, no lights, just you all alone. By jumping into your car, you can travel to the next location, being the garage. And let me tell you, the atmosphere in this location was absolutely amazing. I was absolutely terrified and had no clue what to expect. In the garage as well, you can also find your camera. Your main goal in the game is to take pictures of these ghost-like things in each area. Unlike in games like Fatal Frame where you use the camera as a weapon against ghosts, here you just simply take pictures of them without having to worry about getting killed by them. Taking all of them will lead you to the next level. While the gameplay is simple, it's in the best possible way. You explore this empty location with seemingly no one around. There were several times my paranoia will get the better of me as I would see a random object and think it was someone, but there was really no one there. A really fun addition that was added into the game later on is the different camera filters you can collect. Either different colors or different effects. These were all really fun to use, but as I will go on later in the video, some of these were just not easy to find. I really like taking pictures in this game, and being open where you can choose however you want to take them made it so much more enjoyable. I had talked before about how Pokemon Snap and how I think it's a very lame game because the game has your own rails and it's just much less fun. You don't have the freedom in that game and you have to take the pictures in one specific way, while here you can choose however you want to take the pictures and which filter. By completing the garage, we are sent to the Metro subway station. Just like the garage, it's empty, but you start to realize that maybe you're not actually alone. These shadow creatures lurk around. Despite that though, they will never attack you. Most likely because they're more scared of you than you are of them. For them, you probably look like some kind of alien that they have never seen before. In the Metro we can also find a compass. The compass is used to find the next location of the ghosts to take pictures of. When it's red there are more ghosts in the area, but when it's green you are taking all the pics of the ghost and it's pointing to the exit. Just like the garage, it's pretty empty, but there's still some subways that are still driving around, so who is driving them? The location after Metro is the airport, which was one of my favorites in the game. It actually reminded me a lot of the airport level in My House at WAD. Despite the planes not moving, you can still hear them being turned on, almost like they're stuck in time. This level was very unsettling to me, especially during this moment. The game managed to catch me off guard so much at times, especially when the sound is completely off and all you can hear is your footsteps and camera flash. After the airport, we're at a hotel. There's a lot of empty rooms and even a pool. The pool area was so cool. Pools at night just look so pretty to me. I tried to throw myself in the water, but damn it had invisible walls. There's also this dinner hall I walked past, but walking again, a bunch of balloons that had appeared with a cake. There's also some TVs you can turn on. One of them revolved around politics, so Yawn. But one of them had a Looney Tunes episode, which was pretty cool. But there was also this one door that had me really creeped out as I heard a bunch of sounds from it. When you do open it, it is a shadow creature on the bed, but when it spots you, it just runs away. The next area after the hotel is the suburbs, or Silent Hill 2 as I like to say. This is one of the biggest areas in the game. The levels to this point have been somewhat linear with some paths here and there where you could walk to, but this level is pretty open. There's a lot of houses you can knock on, but it won't really do anything because again, you're just completely alone. There's also this huge crater with a small glimpse of green light. This could be related to aliens, but I'm not really sure about that. There's also these FBI cars outside the house, which most likely means they're after someone really bad, or someone who just pirated a Nintendo game. That's the thing I also really like about this game, which is the environmental storytelling. There's not much information given to you, but you can still figure out what is going on or what at least has happened. After the suburbs, we are at the cinema. You can start playing several movies on the projectors in the cinema. Classic movies like Frankenstein and Night of the Living Dead. I'm really surprised how the developer managed to get the license to play these movies. But right after that level, we had one of my favorites in the game, the school. The atmosphere in these levels have been really great so far, but this had one of my favorites. Not necessarily scary, but just very eerie. There is a cafeteria, classroom and a basketball court you can explore. It's also one of the few levels that takes place during the daylight and it looks so pretty. Again, the aesthetics of this game is just incredible. The second to last level is the Forest, which is probably the longest level in the game. There's a lot of back and forth on this one. You even get an axe or a bit to chop down some trees to create new paths until it gets broken. There's an old rundown fort, a playground and a lake with a shadow creature jumping into the water. At this point I wasn't really scared of this level, that was until I reached the underground. It was very dark down here and it of course creeped me out. You get to use this big light stand, but it's just annoying to use as it spins around all the time if you hit something. I really wish I had a normal flashlight instead of having to use this or just using the camera flash just to get some light. The last level we enter is the mall. The mall, despite being empty, still has some background music running. There's a small arcade room with a game turned on, but you can't play it sadly. There's also a supermarket with a lot of shopping carts around. And at the end of the mall there's a 2-floor store with some shelves here and there and a lot of mannequins. Most likely a clothing store in the work progress. On the second floor there's a ton of mannequins and you can even take down all of them. Taking picture of the last ghost in the area, a mannequin spawns in front of the exit, which I just yeeted out of the way and entered the door. Entering it, we are outside with a small hall, and opening the next door, we enter another hall, and then enter the third hall. However, now the colors change to become warmer, like you're entering back to the real world, with the final door being the exit. Going outside the door, you're waking up in the car again during the day and back to the real world. You throw away the camera and you just drive off. While the main campaign is finished, there's still a lot of secrets to discover. Every level has 3 secret aliens to find and a secret room. With the aliens, you have to take pictures of all 3 of them in each level. There is a simple display if they're nearby to help you find them, but damn, some of them are very well hidden. Alongside the aliens, there's also these VHS tapes to collect and put into these TVs. All the VHS tapes show the exact same video consisting of stuff. By collecting VHS tapes, you unlock the VHS filter, which is a pretty awesome reward. But if you collect all the aliens, you unlock a secret level, the museum. This one, unlike the other levels, is much more pleasant and not creepy at all. You don't start with your usual equipment, but instead have to find it in the museum. Finding a camera, compass and a flashlight. Where the hell was that flashlight in the game? So apparently the flashlight can be found in the garage in the trunk of the car. God, I'm so fucking stupid. This level is pretty cool, seeing all the fan art people made and these cool photographies. By taking the pictures of the remaining ghosts, you can finally enter out of the building. Entering out back to your car, some weird noises appear. The aliens start talking some weird language. Pretty unsure what they're saying though. A tall, shadowy figure appears and... well, I'm just gonna let it play out because this scene is just... you need to watch it to believe it. Remember earlier in the video when I said this game was a horror game? You also unlock another level, but this one is more of a mini game where you have a gun. You're trying to kill all the enemies and see how fast you can do it. It's really fun and it made me wish for a full game like this. It's really awesome. The only thing that remains in the game are these secret rooms in each level, with the exception of the intro level as it doesn't have one. Several of the secret rooms have a number pad on them with them needing a code to open. You can find the code for them in different levels with a hint on top of the codes you find. I'm not gonna go through all the secrets, but I still do want to mention my favorites. In the suburbs, I mentioned earlier you can knock on the doors on the houses and while nobody would respond, few of the houses would turn the lights green by doing so. Doing this to all the houses that can turn green and going down the street to the house with smoke coming from the pipe, you will be greeted by none other than Jerma.
Only a few of these left in existence, I'm certain of that. And I'm giving it to you. That's right. Take it. It's yours. Don't sell it though. Oh no. Don't sell it. Do not sell that.
This was not only such a cool Easter egg, but you also get an awesome reward, being rewarded with a Jerma filter where you'll point. It is absolutely amazing. I use this one so much. Another one I really liked was the one in Forest, as it had two secrets. Going down underground and entering the code, you're greeted with a surprise party with a lot of dancing mice.
Oh wow, I've never been to one of these clubs before.
The other secret is you entering another code behind this fence and entering a maze where you have to chase a rabbit. Getting to the end and you get the filter as a reward and you can do this to the bunny. In the mall, by entering back at the game arcade and entering the code, you can find a gaming room that's related to Vinesauce. You know, the guy who does those surprisingly amazing Mario and Luigi voices. You unlock a little minigame called Vinny's Quest as well, a 2D platformer, and man, it's really charming. I really like the visuals and the music is super nice. It's very short, but again, it's a very nice reward. Now these secrets were really fun and silly, but there was one that caught me off guard. By entering the classroom in the school, going all the way back behind the bookshelf, you will glitch out to the world and end up in the back rooms. I was kind of stunned as the atmosphere here was just different. Luckily nothing happened, but damn, again, the atmosphere. It was so good. The last secret I do want to mention is actually in the museum. After taking all the pics of the ghost, you can pick up a silver key. On top of the museum floor is a door that can be unlocked. In doing so, you can enter the game developer's room. You even get to talk to him and see a bunch of references to the 90s in his room. It was a pretty nice reward seeing the developer in the game, and talk to him was pretty nice, as it gives a bit of insight about the game development of this game. This game was a great experience, I loved it a lot, but if I had to criticize something, I do think some of the collectibles were a bit too well hidden. Like, I get their secrets, but some of this I would never ever have found out if it wasn't for YouTube videos. Like this secret door to the garage, being behind these planks, like this was just way too well hidden. Some of the aliens in the suburbs were also super hard to find, as the level is so open that it was really easy to miss them. But the one collectible I struggled the most with was the last filter being in the museum. I looked for hours and hours and could not find it. And the worst part? No videos showing this exact location of this one filter. So I had to look at the Steam community and just hope and pray to God that someone that could help me. And luckily there was. So if you kept talking to the developer to a point where he would just kind of get a bit annoyed by you, he will give you the last filter. And not gonna lie, I was a bit peeved by this. It kind of annoyed me a lot. But that's really my only gripe with the game. Otherwise, I think this game was just a ton of fun. This game felt like a love letter to liminal spaces, as well as was making fun of it. I really hope this game gets more attention as time goes on, because it's truly something special. Like, this game has so much charm and it is so awesome in so many ways. Not only that, but Solaraptor is also in the progress of creating a new game called Cover Critter, being inspired by Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. It looks pretty dope and I'm looking forward to the release of it. If you're in for a weird but fun take on the liminal spaces genre, then I will highly recommend this game. With that being said, I thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you later.